risks by the Home Office. The law will likely apply to known ISIL strongholds in Syria and parts of Iraq. MPs have also proposed making it a criminal offence to view terrorism materials once online. To debate this, I was joined by Dr. Afshin Shahi, Senior Lecturer at the University of Bradford, and journalist Ben Harris-Quinney.
What I would like to see, and what a lot of Conservatives would like to see, is that in absentia, if the UK courts and intelligence and security agencies feel that someone has travelled overseas in order to be a combatant for ISIS or another terrorist group, they should not be allowed back into the United Kingdom at all. And of course, what these provisions say is that they should be allowed back into the United Kingdom, but they should be prosecuted and sentenced upon returning. So I would like to see them go further in the cases of those that have joined up with ISIS or similar terrorist groups. But there is also a point to be made about people who go out to these regions as journalists, or even as people who want to fight as independent fighters against ISIS. And I think it is important that they receive the clear message that in doing so, they're putting themselves at serious risk, but also the UK government. And there have been many cases, of course, where the Foreign Office and the Ministry of Defence has had to intervene to save such people that have travelled into ISIS territory or similar, which of course places huge demands on our defence and intelligence networks.
Well, Afshin, what do you make of that? Whether your intentions are good or bad, when you come back after visiting one of those places, you should be prosecuted.
I think the intention is good, which is kind of preventing terrorism. But when you do look at the details of this proposal, at least I did find it extremely confusing and abstract. I think this proposal was written with the assumption that for eternity we're going to deal with an organization like ISIS. If we do look at kind of history of global terrorism, at least over the last 50 years, very rarely insurgent organizations are actively looking to control territories and build states. ISIS was a very unique phenomenon, and very often when you look at various terrorist organizations and various terrorist networks, either within the Middle East or beyond the Middle East, they are active in extremely fluid and dynamic social environments. And in a situation like that, it is extremely difficult to define and frame an area as a designated area. I think this law is a little bit too late, because right now, as we speak, ISIS no longer controls any territory, or at least a major territory, in Iraq and Syria. And quite honestly, I don't know what the real intention of this proposal is, because when it comes to feasibility and practicality, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
That's all for this evening. We'll be back tomorrow at the earlier time of 6. Next is the Kaiser Report after the break. And from all of us here in Westminster, good night.